Any word yet on DCE? Is he right to go?
Oh, we think he's right to go. He trained really well last night, but just want to check him today, make sure he's got to be confident in himself too. I think that's the key for the team, is making sure that the confidence of the team is utmost for tonight, given how important the game is and how hard it's going to be. So, but he is tracking very well. He's done everything he possibly can to get fit, and he's a quality young bloke. So, if he is right to go, it'll be a tremendous boost for our team.
When do you expect him to be go? What time are you sort of going to give him?
I don't think Mel's put any time limits on it, because we've got all day to make sure we're in good shape for tonight. I'm sure Mel will make that decision, and then that also impacts on our bench. Benny Hunt's been there all week. He may be part of that four-man bench, depending on just that assessment at the end of how confident Daly is of getting through a whole game, or whether we need that little bit of a plan up our sleeve.
Can you tell us a bit more how he trained last night, how he pulled up after training?
He looked to train really well to me. I think his movement was really good. I know the high performance staff have been really happy with his progress over the last sort of 48 hours. So, as I said, he's certainly surprised a lot of us in terms of how well he's responded and how much better he is now than he was 8 or 9 days ago.
So the decision be left up to him?
I think a combination of Daly, our doctor, and Mel. I think that's normally how those decisions are arrived at, and Mel's also puts a lot of trust in the players to make good decisions about what's best for the team. So I guess we'll leave it at that.
Did he do tackling last night?
Yeah, he did some contact, but I guess he's got to be confident of the collision and getting through the game. So it's going to be a tough game, as we know, and I'm sure they'll put him under a bit of pressure if he does play.
It's hardly ideal, is it? Your playmaker, your halfback, and you still don't know on game day that he's
Yeah,
going to play or not.
yeah. He hasn't been able to do all the sessions all week, but I think players at this level, I think Daly's going to be in and around this team for a long time. So, and I'm sure Mel will give him every chance to be there tonight if he can.
What about Ben Hunt's mindset though at the moment? He must be.
Yeah, it's never easy when you're not sure if you're guaranteed of a spot either on the bench or in the team. But that's typical now of Origin and NRL teams are doing that every week. You always have an 18th player just in case in warm-up. We've seen that plenty of times before. So players, I think, are reasonably good at getting their head around their job. And Daly didn't know he was playing after 10 minutes of game one either. So you just got to deal with it and get on with it. No, I haven't. I heard about it, and thank you. Anyway, that's I guess maybe a bit of fun at our expense, but it won't affect us too much in terms of what we need to do. Oh, possibly. I think there's enough being said and written this week to make sure the motivation's high enough. So I don't think we need the front page of the telly to help that along.
From what you're saying, the boys are a little bit disappointed in what they've been hearing and seeing from the
camp? That hasn't been talked about too much from our point of view, but hopefully we can get out there and get the job done and play with plenty of spirit, and I think that's what Queensland have become famous for, and we know we're up against it tonight a little bit down here, and I think this team responds to a challenge better than any I've seen for a long time, and we know that the pressure's on to get the job done.
Do you think you will have Ben on the bench just as that safety factor?
Not 100% sure, to be honest. I think, again, Mel and the doc, they'll talk about that later on today, and we've got plenty of time to make that call. So if he's required, I'm sure he'll do a great job for us.
Potentially, could you be making that call just before kick-off?
I think
waiting that long?
This afternoon I think we'd have a fair indication of what we need, and the players know they've got a job to do, and making sure they know their role in the team. So I'm sure that'll be all sorted within the time frame we need to work to.
Could he be having another run today? Could DC be out there having?
No, I think he's done everything he needs to do. The medical staff have increased his workload over the last 3 or 4 days, and they've managed him. The medical staff have done a great job this week. Our physio's been busier than I can recall for a long time. He's normally pretty social, but he's been really busy.
You expect the Blues to target his knee, obviously?
Well, it's a physical game, and if you're confident playing and you're getting tackled and you've got to make tackles, well then you've got to expect some contact. So every player that plays Origin knows that.
Michael, Laurie Daly's met with Tony Archer to talk about the referees. Have you guys spoken to Tony about the referees?
No, I saw a comment come through on that last night. Mel, we haven't had that meeting as such. I'm not really sure that it's necessary for such an important game, but that's just, hopefully we'll get a reasonable hearing tonight on the field, and that's all you ask for.
Apologies have been asked before, Hags, but how serious, in terms of your history with both playing and coaching, just how serious has it been for you to deal with this injury crisis?
Well, it's been a much more challenging week than other weeks. Be quiet back there. It's been a much more challenging week from a coaching point of view because, to be honest, we haven't had to deal with no Cooper Cronk, no Corey Parker for starters, and then making sure we've got the key people in the key positions. Billy Slater, of course, came online probably late in the week. Greg Inglis was late in the week, so hasn't been ideal. And I guess a bit more coaching has been going on this week than other weeks.
A week ago, did you think all three?
No. I think, to be honest, if we had one or two of the three, I think that would have been a really good outcome. But the fact that they've improved so much, and they're all, they're not going to be 100% obviously, but the fact they're good enough to play at this level gives a lot of confidence to the team.
Because of the situation, would Daly Cherry Evans have played other than this sort of situation, do you think?
Yeah, difficult to say. I mean, I think he was touch and go playing for Manly in the last game he played. That captain's run he got through, but I think he's actually in better shape now, to be honest. So, given how important the game is, given that he wants the number 7 jumper for a game or two, they're all things that you've got to take into account when you're making those calls.